The problem with Kohinoor's was typically, at least I used to feel that it is not good for my wrist size, which is 7.25 inch, and it always used to be, girlish on my wrist. But still, I have quite a number of watches by HMT, that is Kohinoor, Janta, Tariq, and so on. But this time I came across the Kohinoor Quartz B1, which is a new experiment, I would say, by them. So instead of acrylic crystal, they are using a mineral crystal. And due to that, what they have done is they have increased the thickness of the case. And due to this increased thickness of the case, the form factor of the watch has changed significantly. And now, very surprisingly, when I got it, which is the Kohinoor Quartz B1 version, and the HQ version, so-called HQ, which is like kind of HMT quartz, or some people say it high quality, but I think it is HMT quartz only. So HQ written on it, the HMT Kohinoor Quartz B1 version. So due to the form factor, it is appearing very good, or like it is carrying very well on the wrist. Even on my wrist, that is 7.25 inch. So that's a very welcome experiment by HMT, I would say. So if they keep continuing this kind of dial size, lot many people will get attracted towards it. So let's have a detailed review of it. And let's try to compare it with the other counterparts like Janta, the original, the older Kohinoor Quartz, the Tariq, and see what is the difference. So if you do an unboxing, it comes in a usual HMT package, in a cardboard box with bill and warranty card. And here is the watch. So it is in maroon color, which is a variety of red. So red shows boldness and energy, and it's also sometimes referred to as danger. So if we talk about only the positive sides, so it is, we can say, bold, energetic, and you can't miss this color. So if you're wearing this watch, people will notice. And this is also quite gorgeous sunburst dial in maroon color. So what I was talking about is, if we talk about this B1 quartz version, which has distinctive HQ mentioned over here. HQ is HMT quartz, but some people jokingly call it high quality also. But let's say it is HMT quartz only. So it is the B1 version. The distinction is it has a mineral glass instead of acrylic crystal like in HMT Kohinoor, and HQ mentioned over here. So just keep these two things in mind before buying it. So the HQ version is a bit thicker as compared to the quartz version, the quartz non-HQ version. Here you can compare it. So what they've done is, actually the thickness of both the watches is almost same, but here there is an extruded part of this acrylic crystal, which is around 2 millimeters or 2 to 3 millimeters. So that entirely has been covered or made up by increasing the size of the case or thickness of the case. So now you get a bigger block of steel, which looks more of Radoish type. So like Rado Diastar uses a similar kind of thing, but slightly still bigger. And although we can't say it is similar because it's a circular dial and on top of it a oval is superimposed. So here it's a single block of steel and it's all stainless steel watch. But due to that, what has happened is the form factor of the watch has increased, and when you wear it, even it'll look nice on relatively larger wrists. So for many people it was a challenge to wear such watches unless you are a true connoisseur of classical sizes like 33, 35 millimeter. So for a more broader wrist, these watches were not apparently suitable, or one might not like it, just that case. So this one with a better form factor, that is B1 quartz, is an excellent option or experiment that HMT has done of late. So if you just do a small spec check, the lug to lug is 41, thickness 10.4, and the dial size is 36. Now if we compare it with the other Kohinoor which is available and which is almost always available, except the behavior of HMT website. So it is 10.1. Lug to lug is 39.3, and the dial size is almost 35. If we compare it with Janta Super Deluxe, it has almost same specs like the Kohinoor. So it's 10 to 10.4 as thickness, 38.7 or 39 we can say the lug to lug. The dial is a bit smaller as compared to Kohinoor, but yes, it is almost okay, the same range, 34. And the bracelet is of 18 millimeter flat, untapered, in Kohinoor as well as the new Kohinoor B1 quartz. Now here we have an integrated bracelet kind of HMT Tari. This is a project watch of limited edition. So here it is also 41, thickness 10.4, and the case size is 35. So as I was saying, just due to this change in form factor, this looks very nice. So if I just show you on my wrist, or before that let's go for a little more specs. It has the standard 18 millimeter bracelet which is used in all quartz right now by HMT, which is untapered. So due to this untapering also, the form factor changes. So if it is tapered, it will look much thinner and will not be very suitable for male wrists. So that's how it is. It has a day-date complication. It has a quartz movement. It costs like something like 2400, and it's an all stainless steel construction, water resistant and quartz movement, and comes in various colors like green, gray, black, maroon, blue, and rather two shades of blue. So if we go closer to the watch, let's see. So here we have a closer look at the watch. As you can see, it has a very nice sunburst. And if you look closer into it, it has a matte dial. So matte sunburst dial. And works very fine. The accuracy is also good. It has a mineral crystal, which at least I'm loving it, because I'm not a particular fan of the acrylic crystal somehow. So here it is. So if I show it to you on my wrist, let's see. Here. So it looks quite nice to me. So if it looks good to you, then nothing else matters. And as I was telling you, I was little hesitant in wearing all other like Kohinoors, Jantas and so on, because of relatively larger wrist size. So for people with 6.5 kind of inches of wrist, they are comfortable, or they are like okay in terms of proportion, but this is what it is I needed. So as you can see, it has a relatively thicker case and it looks marvelous. So I'm in love with this watch. So the lume is there in dotted format in all the hour markers as well as both the hands, the hour and the minute hand. Of course not on the second hand because it will become too small, which is okay for this price range watch. So if you want a watch with a classic design by a classic company like HMT, and in a very classic size also, it's like 35.5 millimeter, so approximately you can say 35 or 36 millimeter, which is an absolute classic size of watches. You can go for this Kohinoor Quartz B1 HQ version, and in just 2,475, it's a steel, it's all stainless steel watch, and it still gives us a retro look, retro appeal, but in a quite modern avatar of it, but yet maintaining the classic size.